It is Tuesday, September 2nd. We welcome you to Fantasy Football Today, presented by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Adam Azer, Dave Richard, Jamie Eisenberg. I am very excited for today. We have 3 drafts. I have 3 drafts today. How many do you guys have?
4.
1.
Oh, just one. Just the FFT league, Dave.
You know, I've been cutting back a little bit on my league so I could focus more on some other things. And so this is one of the things, is just not having a ton of drafts this time of year. I had one last night. I have FFT today. I've got the Waterbury Open tomorrow. We're rolling. I'm still deep into it. Just don't have the quantity that I used to.
What are some of the things you might be trying to accomplish in your draft or drafts today?
I would like to draft good players.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand the question. Like, that's what
I would like to draft. I would like to get Dak Prescott on my team. I don't have any Dak. I don't really have I don't have any Lamb, Pickens, or Dak. So I've got 3 drafts today. I'd like to change that. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other players. I think I'd like to maybe try to get Lamar Jackson. I don't have any Lamar Jackson so far. So just want to know if there were any blind spots for you guys that you might want to cover today.
I've been drafting a lot of the same players. I do want to switch it up a little bit. So the last 5 drafts I've done, maybe more. A lot of Tyler Warren, a lot of Ricky Pearsall, a lot of Bashal Tootin, a lot of like the same guys. It just keeps a lot of Braylon Allen, obviously. How about this? So 2 father-son leagues where there's the same situation like me, say friends with same kids the same age. So in my 10-year-olds league, the dad says who's one of your favorite guys that you're taking? I'm like, oh, Braylon Allen's like somebody I take a lot. And we had taken him in that draft. The next day we have our 7-year-old draft for our 7-year-olds. He takes Braylon Allen like the 6th round.
Awesome. Joke's on him. What was it? Oh, I don't know if I have any Travion Henderson. That's something we'll have to remedy, because I definitely got to fix that. All right. Well, anyway, good luck in all your drafts today. Good luck to all of you out there. Tomorrow, week 1. It was weird to do week 1 research yesterday. It was, I
thought it was awesome.
But no, I didn't mind it. It was just 8 months of draft prep, basically, right?
Yeah.
We start in January, and now I'm doing week 1 prep, and it was just a little bit weird. But Dak Prescott's averaged 31.5 fantasy points in his last 5 games against the Eagles. This is the best Eagles defense he'll have faced in that stretch. And one of those games was week 18 with the Eagles resting starters, but still he's had some great history.
And his worst offensive line too.
And his worst offensive line. Yeah. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Yeah. No, there's a lot going on. And Eagles have some questions in their secondary safety.
Pass rush is deep.
Cornerback. Yeah. All right. Anyway, today we're on CBS Sports Network. We're going to be giving you last-minute draft tips. I gave you a few yesterday, but there'll be a lot. There'll be 9 last-minute draft tips today. One of them, Dave and Jamie are just going to, well, Jamie especially is going to just totally disagree with. So I'm looking forward to that. So CBS Sports Network, 1 p.m. Eastern. If you miss it, I think it'll be in the audio feed. It'll definitely be on youtube.com/fantasy football today. We are going to be on CBS Sports Network at 1 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday and Thursday throughout the season. Waiver wire on Tuesday, starter sit on Thursday.
No, rankings on Thursday.
Yeah, but it's kind of starter sit, isn't it?
It's diving into our rankings. We're going to have Robert Turbin on with us at times when he's available to discuss, basically tear down our running back rankings, but it'll be fun.
Okay. But that's weekly rankings. So yeah, it's got a starter sit flair to it. All right, Rams news and notes, not just for the Rams, but for other teams. Alaric Jackson, the left tackle, he's looking like he's going to play this week, and Matthew Stafford is expected to start. I don't know if it was just the terminology, guys, but when I saw they're expecting Matthew Stafford to start, it didn't inspire me in terms of Matthew Stafford's long-term outlook. Am I reading too much into that?
When I see Jaden Blue is expected to play in week 1, I'm like, oh, cool. When I see Matthew Stafford's expected to play week 1, I'm like, why are we still discussing this? Because that means it's a problem.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
So it's like, it's obviously encouraging that he's okay, and it's encouraging that we've dealt through we've gone through this whole month and a half of training camp and preseason of will he practice, won't he practice, will he be okay, is he going to be ready for week 1? So you want some reaffirmation or affirmation that he's going to be fine. But yes, it's a little bit concerning that we're still talking about this now. So one bad hit, one tweak. I think we've all at some point in our lives had back concerns or issues or something that's bothered us. I was coaching my 10-year-old, and the one of the coaches was sitting on a bucket throwing batting practice, and he's like, I can't get up. and watching him trying to hobble off to the dugout, and he's not even 40 yet, so it's not good if something happens to him, and what the potential fallout could be for Puka and Davante Adams and maybe Kyren Williams, could be bad.
Yeah, we haven't talked too much about Garoppolo, Dave. The last time we saw him as a starter, he struggled with the Raiders. But before that, in his San Francisco days, he was solid. I mean, Super Bowl. He went to a Super Bowl. He was, yards per attempt was good. Of course, that's partially the Raiders, but the Niners. Rams have a great system. Do you feel confident in him as a backup quarterback?
We have to talk about it in the context of the receivers, because nobody's really going to start Jimmy Garoppolo unless it's a 2 QB league and Stafford is for sure out. I think that there would be some sort of downgrade, but first of all, I feel like Jimmy Garoppolo, as far as backup quarterbacks go, is very good. And the offense that he's in is very good. And I trust how Sean McVay is as a play caller. We all remember the game where Baker Mayfield showed up 2 days to learn the offense, and he went out and won a game. His numbers weren't great, but he won a game. So I think that the Rams can work around that. Obviously, they'd rather have Stafford. We would rather have Stafford playing. But if I've got Puka Nacua, maybe I expect 10, 15% decline in stats. Davante, 15 to 20% max with Jimmy Garoppolo under center. So this isn't as bad as what we saw last year when Tua missed time. And the backup quarterbacks that we had in Miami were just absolutely atrocious, and the numbers tanked for everybody. So I'm not that worried.
Okay. Real-time ADP on Fantasy Pros. How about this? Real-time ADP on Fantasy Pros has Puka going 13th overall as wide receiver 7. CBS, Puka's going 24th overall. But we are a little more running back heavy on CBS.
I see him at 16.7.
Yeah, you know what? I think I might have non-PPR. I'm trying to toggle. Yeah. Okay. I thought I had hit PPR. I was non-PPR. Okay, I got him at 16.
That's still a dip. I was thinking about this in the morning. How many players have we seen their ADP fall since the offseason ADP? Puka's one of those guys. Achane is one of those guys. It's guys that have been impacted by negative news over the last month.
But
some of those guys.
You're talking about the top tier guys?
I'm talking about anybody.
Adams more than Puka, because Adams is 44th on the real-time ADP.
Perfect example.
36th on CBS. But
right. And so that's somebody whose value has dipped because of news that may not be news that matters anymore, because we were worried about we can still be worried about Stafford. He's playing in week 1. He's playing until further notice. And if he's playing, we definitely like the receiver. I'm starting Puka and Adams in every league I've got them in. I'm not changing a thing about them. Just for any reason. Stafford's playing. I feel good about him when Stafford's playing.
I think in the case of Puka, though, there's consistently been that group of wide receivers that have sort of been shuffling a lot. So Nico, a little bit of a riser, based on, I think, where it started for him. St. Brown, maybe a little bit of a faller, because of some people voicing concerns about the Lions. Puka, a faller because of the Stafford situation. London, a riser because of maybe Darnell Mooney's injury, or just people, really liking him in certain spots, depending on what rank list you look at, what site you look at, so that shuffling, I think, is kind of fair. And then I think it's also when you're talking about comparing these guys to other positions, so the running backs kind of got pushed up, for our site, for example, like Josh Jacobs being a first round pick in ADP is pushing those receivers down. The fact that we have 7 running backs in our first round is pushing those guys down.
All right. So would you take how would you rank the old guys that I talked about yesterday? Evans, Adams, Tyreek.
Evans, Tyreek, Adams.
Yes.
Okay. Next news item, let's talk about the 49ers. Jawan Jennings back at practice. Oh, by the way, the Rams start with Houston in week 1. Very interesting matchup. But the Niners are at Seattle. Another fun matchup. Jennings back at practice, and offensive guard Dominic Pooney practiced. Let's see where Jawan Jennings is going right now, because he could end up being a steal. 109th overall, wide receiver 45 in the Fantasy Pros real time, and 120th overall on CBS. When would you guys take Jawan Jennings?
I need to adjust my rankings for the fact that he's back at practice for anybody drafting, the next 24 or 48 hours. So he'll move up, not significantly, but he'll move up, and Pearsall will probably move down a couple spots. I do think it's going to be, as we discussed yesterday, this is going to be one of those situations where Jennings comes out and has, 8 targets, 6 catches, 80 yards and a touchdown, and Pearsall has 5 targets, 4 catches,
Oh man,
60 yards and nothing, and people are just going to absolutely lose their minds because you can see it. So yeah, it's one of those things where, was he actually injured, or was he actually dealing with the contract situation? So I wouldn't overvalue him. You know how I feel about these guys that were hold-ins in the last couple of years. So he's in a similar situation, but it clearly is a great scenario for you if you drafted him late and you're going to get him week 1.
think about where they were before training camp started. Like, we were having debates about which receiver we'd rather have, and they were close in the rankings for all of us. And until today, they've been very far apart. And so I'd still look at Jennings as someone that I want to take in like the round 8 range. I'd move him up there. And I think moving Pearsall down just a little bit does make sense.
But he did miss all of training camp, so.
Could be a slow start.
Yeah. All right. Najee Harris expects to play this week, and Quentin Johnston is going to play. They're playing Friday in Brazil against the Chiefs. And, I just tell you, we're going to preview that game on Thursday night on tomorrow's show. But the 2 times they played last year, the Chiefs and Chargers, neither team cracked 20 points. Neither quarterback reached 17 fantasy points in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues. It was low scoring stuff. But seeing that Najee Harris expects to play this week, it's not, look, if he's not back this week, he'll probably be back week 2. If you're drafting today, you're changing the way you're drafting Omari and Hampton.
Nope, still an early 3rd round pick.
So I was the one who was really aggressive on Hampton, and I could probably see myself moving him down just a little, but still in round 3.
Andrew Thomas for the Giants, left tackle. He's questionable there at Washington. Micah Parsons is questionable against Detroit. Darnell Mooney, day-to-day with a shoulder injury. We don't know about his status for week 1. They're against Tampa Bay.
What's his ADP at right now?
Mooney is just ahead of Jennings on our site, about 120th overall.
Okay.
And on real-time ADP from Fantasy Pros, he's 134th. He's wide receiver 52. That is after Rashid Shaheed and Jaden Reed.
Uh-huh. Jamie, do you remember where you were the lead guy on Mooney? And I like that call. Where were you before training camp started on him?
Right around like 42, 43.
So pick 100 maybe?
In that range, yeah.
So there's another player you can buy the dip on.
Christian Gonzalez, Patriots starting cornerback. He missed practice. He seems pretty uncertain for week 1 against the Raiders. They did sign Carlton Davis, but Gonzalez is their best corner. The Steelers signed Jalen Warren to a 2-year extension with $12 million guaranteed. They're at the Jets this week. Does this change the way you look at the Steelers backfield with Warren signing an extension?
I've always liked Warren better, really, for the majority of camp. And so it's just, I think, further an indication of how they feel about him, which is, exciting if you like Jalen Warren, and a little bit of a, shouldn't be a huge downgrade for Caleb Johnson, but, it does hurt his dynasty value a little bit if Jalen Warren's going to have a big season.
Trayvon Diggs, cornerback for the Cowboys. He practiced in full. They're playing Thursday at Philadelphia. Dallas left tackle Tyler Guyton thinks he'll be ready to go. Khalil Shakir's been practicing. They got the big game, Baltimore, on Sunday night. Cade Otton practiced. That's good news. He could maybe be a week 1 sleeper at Atlanta. Isaiah Likely did not practice, and neither did Baltimore cornerback Jair Alexander, who they picked up after the Packers released him. They're at Buffalo again on Sunday night. And Houston safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson. This is one of the guys that was key for the Eagles last year, no longer on the team, and hopefully going to be key for the Houston Texans. He hurt his knee in training camp, looked pretty bad. He's actually going to be ready for week 1 at the Rams. So, yeah, it is football time. And it's time for football at BetMGM. Register with BetMGM to get instant access to the best variety of parlay selection features, no sweat and boost tokens, live betting options, and much more. New players can receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets with the bonus code FANTASY if they don't win their first bet. You don't want to miss out on any of the hard-hitting action at BetMGM. Place your money line, parlay bets, and more today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. And use that promo code FANTASY. And we'll be right back with Fantasy Superlatives, our early picks for MVP, Rookie of the Year, Sophomore of the Year, and more after this.
Here we go. The 2025 CBS Sports NFL schedule is here. 18 glorious Sundays.
He's got his receiver touchdown.
Filled with rematches.
Oh, the play of the year.
And rivalries.
Touchdown, Bengals.
Plus, plenty of superstar showdowns. And an epic matchup between the Chiefs and Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Clear your Sundays beginning September 7th for the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
So we're doing something fun here. We're doing superlatives. I'm also doing something very fun on my phone right now. I'm planning my big auction draft tonight. I'm having 12 to 14 people over. I'm going to order wings and pizza. It's going to be really fun. I'm super excited about it. But we don't have an auctioneer. So if you guys want to hop on a flight, could use a little help tonight.
Just have Allie do it.
Have the kids do it.
Yeah, I think my son would be able to do it. All right, Fantasy Superlatives preseason picks for MVP. And I'm very interested in what the chat on YouTube, if you like, everyone want to participate in our show, youtube.com/fantasyfootball today. We're going to record live 8:30, more like 8:40 a.m. Eastern most mornings. All right, so give me a fantasy MVP.
Christian McCaffrey.
Literally stole the words out of my mouth.
Oh, wow. Okay. Fantasy MVP. You know, sometimes that's a first round pick who's just unbelievable. Sometimes that's a second round pick that plays like a first rounder. Sometimes that's a waiver wire guy. Like maybe you say Baker Mayfield was fantasy MVP.
Kyron Williams was a couple of years ago.
Who could be that guy? Who could be the Baker Mayfield?
Drake May.
Yeah. I still think Caleb has it in him with the 500-yard rushing.
That arm talent, sure.
All right, we got, let's see, Lamb, Bijan, Drake London vote, Abuka. I don't know about
a case for Travion. He's not a late round pick, but someone that you're drafting in rounds 3 and 4, and he just absolutely explodes. That would be fun.
Oh, I got one. This is the guy, I've said this for so long now, but the guy who's being drafted latest, who could finish number 1 at his position. I'm trying to think if this should include quarterbacks or not, but Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is the last pick who I could see like playing like a top 3 overall player. Oh.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, make or break player. All right. So McCaffrey appears to be our pick. We have to write this down. Rookie of the year. I think this really has to bake in ADP because otherwise we just take Genty. But rookie of the year, what do you think?
We're not allowed to take Genty?
No, you can, but it's not going to be like, oh, which rookie scores the most fantasy points? It's which rookie gives you the most value, I think.
So last year it would have been
Bucky.
Oh, Neighbors, BTJ, or McConkey, I'd say.
Well, if you're basing it on who gave you the most value, it's Thomas.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No,
and
maybe
that was like for the whole
later.
year. Yeah, Bucky isn't a great answer because he was only half the year.
What about Jaden Daniels from last year?
Oh, yeah.
That would be a pretty good one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Or Bowers.
Bowers was
yeah.
It was a good class. Rookie of the year. I'll say Matthew Golden.
That's a nice call. How about Tyler Warren?
What if it's Colston Loveland?
You cannot rule it out.
I think I'm going to go
A
trade.
lot of people catching passes in Chicago.
Got to vote for Tedero McMillan, Tyler Warren.
You'll get votes for everybody.
Yeah.
You can see it with Krosky Merritt, for crying out loud.
All right, this one's fun. How about, by the way, what did I say? I said 5 years in a row. Correct me tell me if this sounds right. 5 years in a row, there's been at least 2 rookie wide receivers drafted in round 9 or later that finished top 24, either per game or overall.
Sounds right.
Yeah, right. If that's not exactly right, it's something like that. I think that streak ends this year.
Because they're all the good ones are getting drafted too soon.
Unless Golden
I don't know how many good ones there are.
and Ibuka somehow end up with ADP in round 9 or later.
Right.
But I just, look.
Golden's got to be close.
Golden is...
Golden is, you're right. He's just about 100th overall on CBS.
What about Ibuka?
Ibuka.
There's no way he's there still.
I can't type today. Hold on. He's at 83. So that's round 7.
I would think if there's going to be a second one, Luther Burden could be that guy.
I think Trey Harris. I was
going to actually say Thornton.
I think you're right. I think there's only one.
Now, look, I don't think anyone thought Brian Thomas Jr. was going to be that or McConkey, but
no, but those guys definitely had the talent and the speed.
Draft capital.
Yeah. The draft capital.
Someone's making a case for Torrey Horton, and I mean the stranger things have happened. It said Torrey Horton if Cooper Kupp is washed. So this was a wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks.
That's a good call.
Yeah, that's the kind of, you're not going to draft them, but you keep an eye on those guys.
Jaden Higgins, somebody else mentioned. That's also a good call.
All right, how about sophomore of the year? Sophomore of the year.
I would hope, based on where they're getting drafted, that it's going to be Neighbors or Thomas or McConkey.
Yep.
But you got Jaden, you got Bowers, you got Bucky, you have. I think if there's somebody that can make a leap, there's 2 that come to mind for me. One would be Pearsall. I guess Keon Coleman also make a leap.
Mm-hmm.
Pearsall, Coleman at receiver, based on their opportunities, and then Tyrone Tracy. I mean, he was basically the second best rookie running back last year, and now you're talking about maybe a better offense for the Giants, and he's got that role. Somebody else has made a good call in the chat too. Drake May.
Yeah, I was going to suggest Drake May.
Yeah,
and I love Coleman.
Caleb, yeah, you got those rookie quarterbacks from last year. You got Caleb and Drake May and Penix. So hopefully, look, last year was a crazy year, right? I don't remember what it was. The first 15 picks were offensive players. No one said Marvin Harris a junior, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of talent. There's Marvin Dunze. Yeah, it's exciting. Get some sophomores. All right, biggest bust. Who do you think the biggest bust will be?
Overall?
Yeah.
It's hard for me not to say Saquon, but
Tyree could fit that bill pretty easily.
I don't know if Tyree can based on where he's getting drafted, though.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
I think Josh Jacobs is going to be a bust if he's really going 12th overall. Not a huge bust, but
I have a hard time seeing that without injury.
Right.
With him being a bust, yeah. I bet you're not taking him in the first round.
No. Well, non-PPR, yes.
How about Lamb? Nobody has any concerns about the Cowboys?
Mild.
I think you have to have some concerns about a lot of players in certain situations.
Right.
I mean, it's easy to sit here and say, because it happened a year ago, Thomas cover yours, but like if JJ McCarthy sucks.
Yeah. By the way, Dave, very mild is what I'm going to be saying later today when I call up and place my order for wings.
You're not going to get any hot wings? You're having 12 people over?
I'll get medium for them, and I'll sweat it out. Post hype.
You don't have to get one flavor,
It's true. I'm ordering it really from a pizza place, though. I'm not getting it from a wings place, so it's not going to be great, I think. Quality. Maybe,
have you ever gotten the wings from this place before?
No. I
Do you have a preferred wing joint in town?
No, I really don't. I don't.
All right. Well,
post-hype breakout of the year.
Post-hype breakout of the
I'll just get the conversation started with Trevor Lawrence.
Let's go in. Caleb Williams.
So I think he's too much in the sophomore of the year category.
Oh, sorry. He can't be in both.
There's still some hype there.
Marvin Harrison, same situation.
Yeah. Who's the guy that maybe has been counted out going pretty late?
That isn't counted out.
that maybe has been counted out.
Oh, been counted out. That's going late.
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts, yeah. Dalton
Kincaid, right?
If Tyreek stinks, maybe that opens the door for Waddle to see an uptick in targets.
Yeah.
See, I think CJ Stroud would be a good one for this category too.
How about Chris Olave?
Yeah.
That might be a good one because he's still young enough to make an impact. They're going to go with Radler at quarterback to begin the year. He can be aggressive. I don't know if he can be accurate, but he can be aggressive throwing downfield. We saw in the preseason that they lined up Olave all over the field. I think that might be a good one. Could Stephon Diggs be a good one?
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to put him in the breakout category, but
right. I'm thinking more like a guy that was great or had high expectations, took a bad year, and now is back.
Michael Pittman.
Right. So I wanted to talk about Olave. I'm glad you brought him up because Olave, I mean, it's so hard because I just can't really see Spencer Rattler having a good year or whoever it is. But 2022, Amari Cooper, I want to say Jacoby Brissett was their quarterback. Nobody wanted Amari Cooper. He was wide receiver 28 in average draft position. He finished as wide receiver 10. Let's see what he was per game because he wasn't going to be that good. But he was wide receiver 19 per game, averaged 14.6 fantasy points per game.
2020 all day for Olave right now.
Absolutely. 2023, I think this was Mike Evans. This was Baker Mayfield coming over. Nobody believed in him. Mike Evans was wide receiver 31, and he finished in ADP. He was 31. Evans finished as wide receiver 11, and he averaged 16.6 fantasy points per game. Oh, he was a wide receiver 11 per game. He was probably a top 5 overall because he played 17 games. I mean, last year, I don't know if it was maybe Chris Godwin. I don't know if there was an example of this last year.
Oh, it was definitely Godwin.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but did people think his quarterback stunk? I know I was.
No, I think people were just concerned about him.
Who was the guy that maybe people thought their quarterback was terrible, and they ended up being good?
Jerry Jeudy.
How about Sutton? Cortland Sutton was like a back half of the draft pick last year.
Yeah, Cortland Sutton went 112th.
Oh.
I would even put Terry McLaurin in there because I didn't think Jaden Daniels was going to stink, but I thought his passing numbers would be pretty low because he was going to run so much.
Yeah,
I liked McLaurin last year.
When you have I know, but when you have a clear number one target, he could outperform his ADP. Now the question is he the clear number one target? Because last year Rashid Shaheed out-targeted Chris Olave when they were both healthy. This is what we'll have to find out. And obviously there's Kamara. Waiver wire pickup of the year. Who's not being drafted you think will be the waiver wire pickup of the year?
Oh, boy. Just did all these positions.
The first name that came to my mind was Brashard Smith of the Chiefs.
Interesting call. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How about Will Shipley, just in case?
Let's see Woody Marks.
Yeah, Woody Marks is good. He's still out there in a ton of leagues. Is Tootin still out there in like half of CBS leagues? He was last week.
He's over 65%. So
so not anymore.
There will be some panic drops after week 1 of some of these handcuff guys that will potentially end up in great spots. So like I'll give you an example. Somebody just actually put in the chat. I had to drop in a magazine draft that we did in May. I had to drop somebody to pick up, and I'll find out today if I get him. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt did not get drafted in this league. So DJ Giddens was somebody I drafted, and it's a weird site. You have to actually drop the players before you can add them in the first run of waivers. So I had to drop Giddens, which I don't want to do, but I need to free up roster spot. And so, you can see a situation like that where you're dropping, handcuff and the starter gets hurt.
Yep, for sure. All right, those are our fantasy superlatives. We're going to head into buy or sell right now from our audience on X. This is from Randy Justice. Buy or sell, Olamide Zaccheaus keeps Luther Burden off the field for more than 5 games.
I feel like that's a sidekick to Austin Powers.
Randy Justice.
I have a feeling there's going to be so many situations where these veteran guys on different teams are just a pain in the ass to younger players that have opportunities to potentially be good.
Yeah. Zaccheaus was impressive in the preseason, impressive in the practice that I went to. I know they like that he's a veteran and he knows where to be. And I know that they want to take their time with Burden. I'll buy this. I'll say that Luther Burden is a back half of the season fantasy pickup.
Now, on this topic of veterans who could make things hard for rookies, do we feel that way about Cole Kmet? I actually remember, I'm pretty sure last year, Gerald Everett played a lot in week 1. And then they just, obviously different coaching staff, and they just stopped almost completely. But do we think Cole Kmet is going to be that thorn in the side for Colston Loveland?
Yes. I think there's another scenario that also comes to mind is Dalton Kincaid and what happened with Dawson Knox. Like,
sure.
These veteran guys that are good blockers, first off, especially that position. When they're in 12 personnel, you're going to see a lot of these guys that, still get attention from their quarterbacks, especially if there's a rapport there. So, yeah, it could easily be a situation where Cole Kmet's a problem for Colston Loveland. Unless, of course, they just decide this kid is such a superior pass catcher. Like, we have to feature him more than maybe Caleb Williams is doing.
All right, this is from Dayton. Buy or sell Demario Douglas will finish. Ohio, is that you say Ohio?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's coming in from Dayton, Ohio.
Home
Demario Douglas will finish as a better fantasy player than Chris Olave.
I don't want to buy it, but it wouldn't shock me.
I'd sell it.
From Ash Rudder. Buy or sell Kyler Murray is a top 5 quarterback in 4-point per passing touchdown league. Strength of schedule matters.
I'll
It
buy
does matter. I will sell it, but if you amend it to top 8, I will buy it.
I don't know if you guys ever feel this way, but I know how our audience is, right? We have this core group of listeners that listen to basically every show throughout the year.
Yeah.
And then we get a much bigger wave of listeners and viewers that come in August, basically, or late July or whatever it is. And I feel like so many of the stats that I've worked so hard on throughout the year, 30% of the audience hears them, because once we get into real draft prep, we don't really have time to go into players, these deep dives on players. But one of the things for Kyler Murray that has changed since he's been elite has been the deep ball. He, with DeAndre Hopkins, had a lot of success with long passes, big air yards, big explosive plays. That did not exist last year with Marvin Harrison Jr. And I do think that is the same thing with Patrick Mahomes. But that is the thing that was missing last year from the offense. I'm not sure he can get back to being an elite quarterback unless that comes back. And I'm not sure that Marvin Harrison is going to be that type of player, unfortunately, but we'll see. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there.
I would love it if they try and limit that with Kyler.
I mean, it's not like he has to do it all the time, but you got to get some chunk plays every now and then.
Sure.
All right.
I think the broken plays will help him. I think a lot of if he wants to run more, and we're going to see some off script plays, that is his game more so than, being so much trying to throw, on script, on schedule, those type of things.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want the stats, in his first 3 seasons, Kyler Murray gained at least 994 yards and threw 6 to 7 touchdown passes each year on pass attempts of 20 or more air yards. Okay, so it's about 1,000 or more yards and 6 to 7 touchdown passes on deep balls in his first 3 seasons. Last year, 553 yards and 4 touchdowns. It's like basically 60% of his production. Okay. Of his previous production on deep balls.
The Cardinals top 5 in the schedule, fantasy strength of schedule for quarterbacks, top 2 for the first 4 weeks of the season. They play New Orleans and Carolina to begin the year. So definitely potential for a hot start.
This one is from Profit is Theft.
And a good DST too, if you're looking for one late on draft day, the Cardinals.
Buy or sell Matthew Golden will have more receptions than Travis Hunter.
Buy.
From AH. Buy or sell Dave and Jamie will disagree on takes at least 4 times a week.
Buy.
Buy. We do that already. Been doing that for how many years?
We want
that reminds me. I thought of something to add to the Heath bet. I'll bring it up when I'm on with Heath again.
Okay. Schaefer, missed opportunity there to make a Dave versus Jamie graphic. Buy or sell from Pete Farmer. Nick Chubb finishes better than where he's being drafted and top 15 in touchdowns.
Sell.
Big sell.
Jose Gonzalez. Buy or sell J.K. Dobbins will outscore RJ Harvey.
Jamie.
Sell.
Please be a sell. Jacob Strom. Dylan Sampson is a top 24 running back week 1 against the Bengals.
Let me double check my rankings on that.
Oh, you saw the report yesterday, right?
I did.
No.
Jerome Ford will handle the majority of the touches, and Sampson will be a change of pace back.
Yeah, I don't have Sampson as a top 24 running back in week 1.
I have
And
Jerome Ford as a
everybody's
top 20 running back week 1.
Wow.
Well, listen, that's the way it's starting this season. It doesn't mean you should just drop Dylan Sampson if you drafted him. Be patient here.
Nope,
Correct.
I agree.
Steve Davis.
I would start Jerome Ford over Brees Hall week 1.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, wowzer.
I mean, it is Cincinnati, so I get it. I do get it.
Buy or sell, Javonte Williams won't be a viable fantasy back in Dallas, even if he leads the team in carries.
Bye.
Viable meaning like a weekly starter, I buy.
And from Greg Thompson, buy or sell, Chris Godwin will be the Bucs' most productive fantasy wide receiver from week 5 on.
Sell.
I'll sell it, but it wouldn't shock me.
All right. We're going to be right back after this. We're going to talk about our favorite teams that we've drafted and also the roster trends. Who are the most added players in CBS Sports Fantasy Leagues? We'll be right back. So I'm going to ask you guys your favorite team that you've drafted so far. I'm hoping that my answer will be one of the teams I draft tonight. Oh, yeah. I was going to bring up at the top of the show when I said, what are you hoping to accomplish today in your drafts? I am going to try in my auction to get Burrow, Chase, Higgins, and Chase Brown. I'm going to go for it.
It's a $200 budget or $100 budget?
$100 budget.
So what are you allotting for those 4 players?
$99. That's a great question. Do you think I can do it for 60? No, 70? Can I do it for 70? I think so.
So you're basically got to figure a little shy of $30 for Chase.
Yeah, I don't remember what these guys went for last year.
Probably 15 for Higgins.
Yeah, that's a lot.
10 to 15 for Higgins. 15 to 20 for Chase Brown.
Yeah. 55.
And Burrow is probably 10.
He's the one that might be too rich for me. Well, I'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens.
The first year of you guys getting together and doing the auction, or is this
Second.
a second year? What was the auction like last year? Was everybody going crazy, spending money?
It was a 1 QB league, and one guy bid big on both Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. These are not like experienced fantasy players necessarily. And this guy went to the finals and lost by like 0.3 of a point.
Was it Marty?
No, it wasn't. Marty won. Marty won by 0.3 of a point on the Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown run in week 17. Marty's listening today, I'm sure.
Did he get new dental equipment?
It was a lot of fun, but we did it at a restaurant. It went super long, and that's why we're doing it at my house this year. All right. Do you guys have a favorite team in mind?
Yes.
All right. Go for it, Dave.
We did a auction, speaking of auction, last week, and about partway through the auction, and I asked that question about what was the auction like last year, because through our auction last week, people were spending like crazy at the beginning. I got caught up with it on one player. I got Christian McCaffrey for 27% of my budget. Felt like a lot, but there came a point where like half the teams in the league were broke and we still had 100 players to nominate. So I was able to get some guys really, really cheap. And so this auction league that I'm in, Jamie's in, it's a winner take all league. I am thrilled with the team because I got some steals. I can run down the lineup, bench.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah, just go ahead. Give me the team.
Mahomes is my quarterback. My running backs are McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara. My 2 receivers, it's a 2-receiver, 2-flex league. 2 receivers are Pearsall and JSN. My 2 flexes are Cortland Sutton and Jameson Williams. Did I mention it's full PPR? It's full PPR. So the receivers are JSN, Pearsall, Sutton, Jameson Williams. Evan Ingram is my $1 tight end. On my bench, James Conner, Stephon Diggs, Brian Robinson, Dylan Sampson, Cam Skadbu, Bashal Tutin. So a lot of lottery tickets plus James Conner on the bench.
It's an interesting auction team because to me, it sounds like you only have one elite player in McCaffrey. You have a ton of players in the rounds like 3 to 6 range.
That's what ended up happening because a lot of the elite players were nominated early and they went for a lot.
I think that's great. I like that strategy.
I love my starting lineup and that my bench is terrible.
Someone says your wide receivers suck, but I don't agree at all. Who are they again?
JSN.
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton. Jameson Williams. Ricky Pearsall, and then on the bench is Steph Diggs.
No, I mean, that's good. Look, you don't have a first or second rounder, but that's good.
But again, a lot of those third and fourth round guys.
What's my team in there again?
I'll run it down for you. Hold on.
This is fun. I drafted 3 quarterbacks.
What? Why?
Because I got Drake May for $2. I got Trevor Lawrence for $1, and I was like, you know what? Bo Nix was just sitting there for $1. I'm gonna bid $2 on Bo Nix, and I'm just gonna drop Trevor Lawrence.
You spent $5 on the 3 quarterbacks. So Bo Nix is in your starting lineup. You just heard the other quarterbacks that are on your team. Chase Brown and Josh Jacobs at running back. Here's Jamie's receivers.
Wow.
Mike Evans, Ted McMillan, Xavier Worthy. His other flex is Travion Henderson, who, if I recall correctly, you did not spend a ton for.
$14.
Yeah. And Kittle's your tight end.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So he's got a great team. His bench is really ugly. Christian Kirk is his best player on the bench. But, I mean, as far as starting lineups go, awesome.
Well done. By the way, Bo Nix is someone that I have drafted 0 of and don't anticipate it. And I just never really liked his ADP. I just felt like he wasn't that much better than guys that were going 3 or 4 rounds later. And for whatever reason, he was always clearly ahead of the pack. I never took him.
In this auction, it got down to the point where there were so many good players, not great players, but good players going for $1.
Mm-hmm.
And Thomas spent all of his money early and then just kind of had to sort of backfill the rest of his roster. So Thomas and I were in the same boat, and Thomas was nominating players before me. And the way that it worked out, I was like, he's gonna take every guy that I want. And it ended up happening. He ended up nominating every guy that I want, and I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And one in particular stood out to me, which ended up, not working out for either of us. Thomas in this league, me in several other leagues, was Jalen Coker. I was like, maybe I get Jalen Coker for $1, and then Thomas right in front of me.
Right in front of you, nominated him and got him for the same buck. I think we should run down Thomas's team, because this is something that you see people do in auction drafts, where they will spend to get multiple first rounders. And then the rest of their team, they just take whatever they can get and they figure it out later. And so that's what Thomas did. Here's Thomas's team. Justin Fields at quarterback. He's got JJ McCarthy on the bench. Here are his running backs: Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry.
Oh.
With Jordan Mason on the bench. Jamie was referencing the part of the draft where everybody was going cheap. He got Jordan Mason for, I think, $2. Wide receivers: Jamar Chase.
Whoa.
And Jacoby Myers, Keenan Allen, Wan'Dale Robinson.
Oof.
Those guys are in his starting lineup.
Oh, man.
Tight end is Kyle Pitts.
Ooh. He's got 3 first-round picks, though. He's got
3 first-round picks, and then his next best player might be Jordan Mason.
See, but this is where you two guys make a trade. You give him like 3 players for one of his studs.
I don't think he'll do it.
Who's the quarterback?
Dave, we did something like that last year, because I did the same thing and I didn't have any running backs. And then I traded you like Jamar Chase, and you gave me like Rico Dowdle, a receiver, and I think another running back, because you had so many running backs.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was something along those lines.
That was a nice trade.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out for both of us, even though I gave away the best player.
Thomas, if you could do it again, would you go after 3 studs like that? Spend 80%, 90% of your budget on the studs?
I probably would just blow off one of the running backs and just had an anchor receiver, anchor running back with all those great players that were still available in the mid rounds. Like, I had such FOMO. So yeah, I would have probably blown off one of the other running backs.
So the last point is the crazy value. Like, there's always going to be a bargain section during an auction, but what we had was just absolutely crazy. And the results are on cbssports.com. So if you want to look for them, you can. If you can't find them, find me on X. I'll point you in the right direction. But I don't think you should expect it to be like what we had, where guys that would normally go for like 10 were going for 5, or even like guys that were
the first auction. If you're looking for like a fair comp, is probably better in terms of the values.
Sure, but that was with 12 analysts that knew what they were doing. This draft was a couple of analysts and then everybody else that works at CBS Sports. So they work in sports and they're on top of stuff, but they're still not. They're not on a podcast every day. Content.
normally I don't really like kind of stick to what I had planned in an auction, and I wanted to do that for the first time this year. So I wanted Chase Brown. I didn't have enough of Chase Brown, so I was going to spend whatever I need to spend to get him. I wanted Josh Jacobs. That was fine, $20 each for those 2 guys. And then I was hoping to get 4 receivers in the blob for $10 each in that range. Evans I got for 11. Worthy I think I got for like 10. Who's the third guy I have?
Ted McMillan.
Oh, Ted McMillan, around the same price.
Yeah.
And then Kittle was just sitting there, $7. I'm like, you know what? I'll spend 8, see if I get him.
Awesome.
I'm gonna say it. I say it every time. I feel like the rounds 4, 5, 6 guys are the best values in auctions for whatever reason. No one gets excited to draft them, and they go really late. I don't know, Jamie, if you got those guys late, but no one gets excited to even nominate them, and they just end up.
No, but that's what happened in this auction, is that all those guys in that range went later.
Yeah, and at that point, some teams are out of money.
Yep.
So you get good deals.
That's generally been my strategy. Is I usually end up with more teams like Dave has, where take McCaffrey out of it. Like I just have it's a lot of balance, but not stars.
All right, my favorite fantasy team was actually in our IDP league. I'm not going to go through the IDPs. Honestly, I don't know if my IDPs are any good. They're probably not. But we start 10.
Hey, I helped you get some of those IDPs.
Yes, you did. Who was the guy that you really wanted me to get?
Schlesinger
on the Browns. So I got him, but my starting lineup I think is really good, and I don't think it was really heavily influenced by other people taking IDP. It's just that didn't really start, I don't know, around 7 or so. But this is an IDP league where we start 2 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, 3 defensive backs, and a flex. So that's 9 IDPs. I have Josh Allen, James Cook, and Isaiah Pacheco. You've heard of him. I have Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., and Jerry Jeudy. Neighbors and BTJ are my first 2 picks. I have TJ Hawkinson at tight end, full PPR. And I have Keon Coleman at flex. I also have Javonte Williams, Juwan Jennings, and Jaden Reed, all the J's, on the bench.
I don't know if I'd brag about all those guys.
On the bench, Javonte Williams, Juwan Jennings, and Jaden Reed.
I guess that's where they belong. Sure.
It's a super deep league. There's 10 bench spots in addition to all the IDPs. It's like a 27-round draft or something.
Right.
So Josh Allen, James Cook, Pacheco. I guess I'll give it to you in the order of how I drafted them. I had a late pick, 10th-ish. So it was Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., James Cook, Josh Allen, Pacheco, I'm guessing in round 5, Jeudy in round 6,
after that, right.
And then Hawkinson late round 7. And then Keon Coleman, I don't know when. Probably some IDPs in there. So I'm hopeful for this team. Hopefully my IDPs don't suck so much to drag me down, but I like it.
Well, you got Schlesinger. I said Schlesinger earlier. That's not right. Carson Schlesinger.
Let's look at the roster trends. The most added players.
Fine. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot because you gave the auction. Sorry, my bad. It should be the auction team.
I was going to bring up what we talked about last week, that team from the Draftathon League, where just everything kind of fell my way. But I have another one that kind of worked out the same way. This is a super flex league with other analysts. Michael Fabiano of Sports Illustrated runs it. So I had the 10th pick, got Jalen Hurts at 10.
Oh, wow.
It's 4 points for passing touchdowns, but he should still go well ahead of that.
Yes.
So this is the team. Hurts at quarterback, McCaffrey and Achane at running back, AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill is 2 receivers, 2 flex. 2 receivers, 1 flex, and super flex. Sorry. Tyreek Hill and AJ Brown are receivers. David Njoku is a tight end. Mike Evans is a flex. 2 is the super flex. And then on the bench, I have Anthony Richardson, which is not great, but I missed on a 3rd quarterback. Braylon Allen, Tyrone Tracy, Bashal Tootin, Ollie Gordon, Jameson Williams, Keon Coleman, and Demario Douglas.
Is it 10 teams or 12?
12.
Jeez Louise. Not having a QB3 is going to be problematic, but that's a good team.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you guys a name that we've barely said. He's one of the most added players right now in CBS leagues. And with Travis Hunter possibly playing limited snaps on offense in week 1, Brenton Strange is one of the most added players. And so is Dallas Goedert. I'm sure you'd start Goddard over Strange. But
of course, he's playing his namesake.
Goddard's playing Dallas.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Brenton Strange was a second-round pick in 2023. He had some good moments without Evan Ingram last year. I don't know. He's interesting. Dave, your thoughts on Brenton Strange?
I like the matchup against Carolina and their linebackers. But other than that, we just finished drafting. How many people drafted Brenton Strange, and how many tight ends that we drafted are you going to bench for Brenton Strange?
Yeah, it's obviously a deep league thing, but
he will be a waiver wire ad after week 1. He will be somebody that I think we're going to be discussing as a borderline starter throughout the course of the season, somebody that will hover around those 10 PPR points per game. They like him a lot. That was part of the reason why they moved on from Evan Ingram. You mentioned it, the Travis Hunter situation. I think there's a handful of tight ends that sort of fall into this category of chance to be very fantasy relevant. He's one. Hunter Henry, based on what he did last year, is another one.
No.
Jago Conquo, based on how he finished last year and his role in the offense with really no second receiver for the Titans, is another one. Mason Taylor, somebody that's going to be very interesting throughout the course of the season. And I think now with the injury and the trade, Jatavion Sanders is going to be somebody that has an opportunity to sort of be in this range as well. So if you're just looking for who can I pair, if you're still drafting, who can I pair with Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, Dalton Kincaid, one of these guys that, has so much upside, but you may just want to take a second guy and you miss on Jake Ferguson or Zach Ertz or Dallas Goedert, some of the solid fallback options that should be very good as well. Like, these are the guys you take swings on, especially a guy like Strange with his matchup for week 1, like Dave said. Like do we get a negative if I agree with Dave? Takes away one of the 4 arguments.
you just have to disagree with 5
yeah,
players.
well, I mean, all the comments, Dave and I hate each other. The Brenton Strange call is perfect, because if he does do well against Carolina and we don't see Travis Hunter play a lot offensively or enough, or he plays enough offensively but he doesn't get enough attention, targets, etc. Like, we're gonna see, some of these players, him in particular, Strange in particular, like it's an easy opportunity cost to just take him before with one of your last picks.
I like where you're going with that. What I worry about with Strange specifically is that they also have Diami Brown and Parker Washington, and I know that they like those guys. They like everybody in the offense. So I'd be a little worried about that. The name that you said that stands out the most to me, like, I've got a free roster spot. I want to carry another tight end. The draft has already happened. Or I'm in a deep draft. I want to take a shot on one of these tight ends. It's Taylor with the Jets. We've gone all training camp and preseason. Who's the number 2 target guy for the Jets? It could end up being Taylor, who's back from the high ankle sprain, who does have a good athletic profile, who's going to get an opportunity to play. I don't love the quarterback, but if he's going to get a bunch of short targets and try and be a yak guy in that offense, by all means, like, that's a great guy to take a shot on and just kind of, stash him for 1 week and see what happens. I also like Hunter Henry and where he is. Based on last year, absolutely true. But also, it's the Josh McDaniels offense now. We know how tight ends get used in that offense. It's a good thing. I don't like that there's another tight end there. Austin Hooper, Adam, is part of that offense and that passing game. But that's an offense that could end up elevating this year, and Hunter's definitely going to have some good weeks. He's got Las Vegas in week 1.
I don't know if I still have the Hooper sound bites.
You can just go Hooper.
Hey, Hooper. All right, some other guys on the.
But just really quick to wrap it up, these are all great options in tight end premium leagues. Like, if you're looking for good bench spots that could be flex options for you, like, these are all guys you should be drafting.
But I'm not taking any of them over the veteran blob of like Goddard, Ertz,
of course,
and Ferguson in reverse order. I like Ferguson the best of those 3.
Yep.
Demario Douglas is on the most added list. We like him.
I get that. Yep.
Alice Goddard is on the
How about slot receivers in Josh McDaniels' offense?
Yeah.
How about
Dylan Sampson and Quinshon Judkins are both on the most added list. I'll ask you again. I asked you yesterday, but how would you rank the Browns running backs right now if you're just drafting?
Yesterday we said Judkins, Sampson, Ford. I may adjust that and go Judkins, Ford, Sampson.
Yeah, I get it.
Basil Tootin, we want to get him. And there are a lot of kickers on the most added list. I don't know if you guys have any strong feelings about kickers for week 1.
We almost eliminated kickers from our long-running keeper league before our draft last night.
That's a pretty strong feeling.
Yeah.
Any ones that you want to pick up?
To pick up?
Yeah, I don't know.
For week 1?
I think Tyler Loop is interesting.
Yep. people don't really know who he is, but he's the Ravens kicker. That's a team that's been constant in field goal attempts, and he's got a great leg.
That's a good point.
Yeah. McManus for Green Bay, now that their defense is getting even better. I can see the Steelers be conservative. Boswell's pretty much being drafted.
Cam Little, obviously, big preseason kick.
Yeah, because of that big booming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Carter Davis.
Well, I mean, that goes without saying.
It
might be a little too early on that one.
College
I was with
football.
our former colleague, our very good friend Sergio Gonzalez last night, who went to FAU, and I was like, "How the hell did you guys not keep him?" He's like, "He didn't even kick for us."
Oh, he was 4 of 11. 4 of 11 at FAU, and yeah, it's horrible. I don't know. I have a lot of feelings on how bad the coaching was in that game. Speaking of coaching, wasn't a great debut for Bill Belichick last night.
No.
They went up 7-0. What was the final? 41-7 they lost?
48-14.
48-14, my bad. I missed
and
touchdowns.
For me, must-watch viewing are Bill Belichick press conferences. And so Bill was his usual self, as you would imagine. But, like college football coaches have to sometimes make it rosy to appease the fan base and the boosters and all that. Like Bill tried to do that, and he looked so uncomfortable.
Oh,
he was
really?
like, "Yeah, we had a great atmosphere. And a lot of fans. Really appreciate the fans being loud."
Yeah. Michael Jordan was there. I was thinking like Michael Jordan was just a few seats away from Lawrence Taylor. And like who, when you think about them, how much better is Michael Jordan at sports than Lawrence Taylor? They're almost equals.
At sports or their sport?
At their respective sport.
Because Lawrence Taylor is in every single GOAT conversation.
Yeah.
For football.
Well, he is I think people consider him the best defensive player in football.
I think if you were to say who's the best 2-guard and who's the best pass rusher, then they're in the same conversation. Lawrence Taylor is not thought of as the best player to ever play his sport.
Best defensive player, though.
He's in the conversation with best pass rusher.
But you can make the argument with several guys for that.
Pretty amazing that they both from North Carolina. All right, that's it for today. Oh, you want to hear it's Team Name Tuesday? I'll give you the team names for my 3. Well, I'm not in 3. Never mind. But 3 beat Chad Smith leagues. So one of them I came up with can't stop the run. I don't know if that's good or not, though. Like,
I mean, I get
it. Chad's teams in the other leagues are Breaking the Girly and Hardman to Concentrate, which those are very good. Breaking the Girly was terrific. All right.
I have an update for the leftover leagues.
Okay.
I will be picking the teams today. We will be drafting tomorrow. So if you can draft tomorrow, I know it's short notice, but the entries were amazing. Absolutely amazing. It was worth staying up last night to read all of them. I think there was 200 some odd entries. It was tough. We're going to do 3 leagues again of 16 teams.
Nice. All right, have fun. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening.
And 3 of our regular commenters will be in it.
Wonderful.
Cool.
We will talk to you at 1 p.m. CBS Sports Network. Have a great day, everybody. See you.